So welcome then to Doorstep History, and welcome to the wholesale market here in the centre of Birmingham. We'll be going to have a look around at all the different types of markets here and talking to some of the people about the history of the markets and looking ahead to the future. The wholesale markets adjacent to the bullring have a long and illustrious history going back to the establishment of the town itself. This led to the building of imposing Victorian structures which existed until the early 1970s. Then the bulldozers moved in and the whole complex was redesigned and rebuilt. Now, 50 years later, redevelopment is in the air again, and they're about to be moved to a new depot in Witton, and this whole area will be redeveloped under the brand name Smithfield. Friction Arts, a community heritage group, has been gathering memorabilia and memories about the history of the area.
Smithfield, as it's sometimes known, the wholesale market site, is the birthplace of the city of Birmingham, really. It's the site of the original manor house around which the city grew, and the market that came afterwards. And basically everything that grew from there, the industry, the trade, it all came from the original markets. So there's been markets here for roughly 900 years, up until now, when the site gets demolished in spring 2018. This is where most restaurants, most corner shops and hotels get all their produce from. So it works pretty much 24/7. There's people delivering stuff in lorries all evening, and then from about 2 a.m. The guys come in and then start shifting around all this fruit, veg, meat, fish, flowers, all this fresh produce that goes right across the Midlands. It's not just local to Birmingham. People travel from right across the East and West Midlands to get their stuff here. It's the largest single wholesale market site, or it was when it was built in Europe. There's since been copies made, but it's a huge site, and millions of tons of produce get moved here every year, feeding millions of people.
Yeah. Just tell me a little bit about the character and the community that's here.
Well, like I said, the market's been here for hundreds of years, and it's grown its own culture, its own character. It's very working class, I guess, culturally. And in the last sort of 30-40 years, it's really reflected the sort of change in the demographic of Birmingham, in that there's much wider kind of broader range of people here, a broader range of produce, and actually that's one of the things that's really kept it going. When the trade dropped off in the 80s, when the supermarkets started going direct with their own distribution networks, the trade dropped off dramatically, but that trade was partly replaced then by all this what would have once been exotic produce. So now it's very, very normal that all the certainly the fruit and veg traders trade in all kinds of things: yams, mooli, all these things that would have once been exotic and now actually staples.
And with me now is Sandra from Friction Art.
We're the only people documenting the kind of closure, really, and celebrating the market traders and the Sunday market traders and the audiences and the people that attend them. We think it's really important because it's a huge part of Birmingham's history. It's the beating heart. So for us, it's very, very important that we mark this time, that we get those stories before they go. I'm sure a lot of people watching this programme will have families, family members that have maybe worked down here, so please feel free to come and tell us. We're going to take this archive and keep it in the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery and also the Library of Birmingham. And we're also going to make sure that in the future there is access for people to find out more about the stories and the photographs we've collected.
Chairman of the association, the Wholesale Produce Association, which represents all the traders within the market. I'm also director now of the management company, which will be running the new market as well. I own George Perry's, GP Salads and the Joe Richards chain of shops together with my brother.
It seems to me the busiest time here is probably the early hours in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah, we get on the market for around about 2 a.m. You get all your orders out. We've done a lot more now. We've got an e-commerce site started with George Perry's, so we started doing a lot of business through that. Get all the orders from the emails and everything there, and then we serve our own shops from around about 2:30, and then it really kicks off from about 4 o'clock onwards. Everybody all of a sudden gets out of bed. A lot easier if it's a bit warmer than today, but apart from that, yeah. And then we're busy until we carry on. We have certain hours there. The Asian trade starts from about 5:30, and then we start again a lot of the Afghans and the Syrians for the bowlers, either very early or very late, trying to pick up a few bargains, serving all the bull ring, and then you get all the Chinese coming as well, which are a little bit later than everybody else, and we finished our day around about 12 o'clock. Well, George Perry's, we're the oldest wholesalers in Europe now, founded in 1870. We took on our other companies, GP Salads, George Perry Salads, formed that 10 years ago. It was a little bit of a niche in the market for a high-end salad company, which we took over. And then our friend of ours, Joe Richards, passed away suddenly at 46, and we took over his shops and carried on. We've got 6 fruit shops now, which operates under the Joe Richards banner.
And we'll have more from the markets later in the programme. But for now, we're heading off to Wythall and to the Transport Museum, where we've discovered there is a very old bus dating to pre-World War I times, which is currently being renovated. And I couldn't resist the opportunity of going to have a look. We're on board a genuine 1913 Birmingham bus here, aren't we? This is brilliant. This has got to be really unique.
It is indeed, yes. We would love to get it back out on the road, but I don't think we will ever do it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. It'd be cracking if it did, to be truthful, yes. And again, it is unique in the fact that it's actually, we talk about hybrid vehicles now, it is a battery electric. So 100 years ago, we were using battery electric vehicles.
So in effect, we're being eco-friendly even before the term had been invented.
That's right, yes indeed, yes. It is actually a hybrid vehicle with a petrol engine driving an electric motor. From the hybrid viewpoint again, this is absolutely brilliant. It was made into a hybrid, made into a petrol electric, because the bus drivers of the day came straight from horses and carriages, and they couldn't get to grips with using a gearbox and accelerator. So they made it very, very easy. It gave them one pedal to go, one pedal to stop. So it was just like, in fact, driving a true horseless carriage.
Brilliant, amazing, yeah. So what do we know about the history of this then? How long did it last? Where was it garaged?
Right, it was actually used in Birmingham. It would have been bought in I think there were 7 of them in 1913. Garage probably in the centre of Birmingham. I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to check on that. But I would love to see it out on the road myself.
Fantastic, wouldn't it?
It would. It's actually my favourite vehicle here, purely because of the petrol-electric connection, the future in the past, in a lot of ways. Absolutely wonderful to me. I love it. Yes, I do.
Hello, I'm Lucy Worsley, and you're watching Doorstep History.
Now, welcome back to the Birmingham Wholesale Markets Complex here in the centre of Birmingham, and we've been looking around at some of the different markets and looking at some of the types of produce that are sold here. So tell me a little bit about the plans for the new place then at Witton, and what does the average trader here think of it?
It was a little bit of a disappointment, to say the least. 7 years ago, I mean, it's very sad, but I can remember that. It's July the 17th, 2011. We were given a 4-month notice to quit the site. No compensation package. No new market to move into, as we've been promised for the last 20 years. We ended up taking the council to court, and then we had all the public got behind us magnificently up the bull ring, and petitions and everything else on there. We obviously got to speaking with the council in the head office. Ian Ward has been absolutely magnificent to us, championing us all the way through, understanding the sustainability of putting cheaper food on the plates of the people for Birmingham, and he championed our cause all the way through to the new market. So from a bit of a disappointment, it's fresh beginnings starting now. So hopefully we'll move round about mid-March now into the new site over at the hub at Witton, purpose-built facility. This place is 22 acres, the new place is 18 acres, but it should be state-of-the-art and magnificent place to go into.
So another era to look forward to.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's this market opened in 1974. The only disappointing part, there's been a market on this site now for 998 years, and the legacy and the heritage is all going. So we put apartments, shops. There's a lot of history there, which is what we've always been about and always championed through everything else on there. But it's a step forward. We have to move with the times. This is prime land for Birmingham City Council, being slap in the middle of the city. So you can understand from the council's perspective, they want to move on and make the city a more vibrant city. And we've just got pushed aside a little bit.
Well, that's it from this edition of Doorstep History. Very much hope you've enjoyed the programme, and we'll be back soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.